G'day everyone. So today we're going to be lubing the cables on the bike. We're going to start with the throttle cables. As you guys may know, when I was pulling the bike apart I discovered the decelerator cable was snapped. So I've bought new ones and I've already put them in, but now we're going to have to lube them. Alright. Put them in just to get the hard stuff out of the way. So what you're going to need to do is remove the screws holding the throttle assembly on. It's a pretty long screw, so take it all the way out, place that to the side. Make sure you don't lose it because you're going to be boned if you do. Alright, now pull that apart, take that off of there. So now you can see the throttle assembly. That's your key switch, or your key switch, your emergency stop and start button from the inside, and here's your throttle. Alright, so that spins and pulls the cables. You have to take that off of there. Do it one at a time, so that way you don't lose track of which one's which. Try and bring it out to where you can get it. Okay, now that you have the cable, make the jobs a lot easier. Get one of these. It is a part specifically designed to lube cables. Alright. Nice and simple. Place that over the top of the cable and you want to clamp it down. See that red bit moving down? Clamps it up, and that basically seals the rubber on there and around the outer diameter. So that little hole there, you're going to stick the little nozzle from your lube in that hole. Now I've just basically got a really runny chain lube to do this job, which works. And you want to try and block that hole up because it's not a perfect seal, and spray the lube through. Just a couple little sprays, does the trick. Now we route this back to where it is meant to be, where it is meant to be. Put that back in there. Alright. Now we're going to do this one. As you can see, you're going to have to pull that off of there. And clamp that on again. Now don't push it too far forward because then you'll block the lubing hole. Alright, if you block that, it's not going to get in. So you want to bring the end of the guide down a little bit so that the lube can get into the hole as it's meant to. But then you don't want to have it too far down because it is tapered. The rubber is tapered, the hole gets bigger, and then you won't get a seal. Cinch them up. And repeat the process. Alright, so Now, for the fun of trying to get this throttle assembly back together, I'm going to line that back cable up into that groove and put that in there. Line that up, just lining it all up. There we go. That goes into there. Now this one, it's actually quite a painful one to do. You gotta try and manipulate it a little bit, get it to sit into there. Okay. So you see why I did this off camera before? Because it is fiddly. So now you've got that in place, grab the backing plate. The backing plate into position. Try not to disturb those cables too much. There. Now you need to find where that pin sits, because that'll hold everything where it needs to be. The screws that you had before. Start doing them up. Then with them done up, we're going to go over to the clutch and choke cable. So to remove the clutch cable, we're going to have to loosen off the adjuster. So change the adjuster, and then you want to pull the cable out of the adjuster, keeping those grooves aligned, down and out like that. And again, feed cable through, cinch the clamps down, spray the lube in. Then it's a matter of just putting it back, which is reverse, as always, of how it came out. Then we readjust the clutch to the appropriate tension, and lock down the adjuster ring. And now for the choke. So the choke's going to be very similar to the throttle cables. We're going to have to remove the assembly so that we can free the cable up. So remove the two screws that hold the assembly together. Now that you've got the assembly part, that bit will just drop straight out. So you can just take the cable out of there, and there you have it. There's your adjustment lever. Now, great thing about my bike, that's actually fixed to the cable. So I'm going to have to do this a very dirty way, which is just spray lubricant down there. So while you do this, you're definitely going to want to get a rag, because it's going to be very messy. And all you want to do is just shoot a little bit down there at a time, and you just got to let gravity do its thing. So as I said before about lining the pin up with the hole, you can see that's the little pin there, and that's the hole. So now that you've got it all back together, line that pin up, get it sitting good. Doesn't hurt to give it a test, and then just put it back together. That's it. That's how simple it is to lube your cables. Choke cable is the hardest part. Clutch, it's easiest. The throttle cables are somewhere in between. So, all in all, it's pretty easily done little maintenance task, and it's recommended you do it reasonably often. Otherwise, you will find that your cables will snap, like I found on this bike. Obviously the cables weren't lubed regularly before I got the bike, and it's caused them to snap. That happens. Wasn't too big of a deal. Parts were cheap, they came quickly, and it was an easy fix. Yeah, so if you haven't lubed your cables on your bike in a while, unless you know that your mechanics have done it, if you get your bike professionally serviced, I recommend just going and lubing them. It'll make them run a lot smoother, and you won't have the worry of them snapping. Use a good oil-based lubricant. That way you won't have to worry about rust, and the oil-based lubricant will, on top of that, help the chances of them snapping, because it'll keep the water out, keep them from rusting. And the stainless steel, they should be stainless steel, but every thing that you can do to prevent breakages, I personally recommend. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit the like button, put a comment down below, share the video, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, hit me up on Facebook, link in the description below. I also have Instagram, be sure to go over there and follow me. And as always, ride safe, drive safe, and stay safe. Catch us next time. Peace. That choke cable is an absolute bastard of a thing.